Good day, folks. Welcome to 406 Regen. Haven't been doing a video the last few days. Been really busy with some moving people around, personal stuff. So we are on this Dodge now, pulling the transmission today. That's the job. Let's get this transmission pulled out, get a torque converter ordered for it because we're 99.9% sure that's what's wrong. We were running it last night and could kind of hear something free spinning, so gonna check into that. And it has that front seal leak there too, so we'll get that fixed. This poor pickup, 116,000 miles. I don't understand what people do to their vehicles. I honestly don't. I've grown up with old vehicles my whole life, and I don't know how you can trash a pickup in 116,000 miles. Like, this one has been trashed, and I'm not just meaning the damage here on the side, just mechanically. No one maintains their stuff. There's no pride in their things. I don't understand it, but the woman that bought this truck used, she sure got hosed on the deal. But we'll get this torque converter back on, and hopefully she can. Well, my recommendation is we'll get it back together for her, running okay. She needs to take it to a dealership, trade it off on something else, because this is what you would call a lemon of a pickup, and it's a shame. I don't think it's necessarily the pickup's fault, but it is what it is. So, like I said, that's today's work. Get those done. I have to go check out on the Rams because I was able to do we separated the ram lambs out, but that was late. It was almost dark when we started, and it was 1:30 when we was done. So I wasn't able to record none of that, unfortunately. Yesterday's video, I had to take Tuca back into the vet yet again because his eye was draining and really watering. The vet said he gave us some pills for it, and we'll go from there. But I recorded that and in selfie mode, and for some reason my camera, it flipped it like I was driving a right hand side vehicle. And I didn't want to post that. The camera shouldn't have done that. I have it settings so it's not supposed to do that, and yet it did. So I don't know, but it's kind of a warm day, so Miss Katie's just hanging out in the shade. And like I said, we're working on the Dodge, so, and we'll get that out of here. We'll get it tore down here today, get the parts ordered, and it'll be back together by this weekend. And then I'm not sure what vehicle's next is after this one, honestly. I don't know if it's gonna be. I need to start doing some on this. Even if my brother's doing more mechanical things, I need to start working on this Ranger. And then he can get it in the mechanical rotation. It needs new heads and possibly timing chain, but I can detail the inside. I can clean up the body, put the Raptor liner in the bed. It's the headlights, taillights. I'm gonna clean it up, and I can do that without it being in running condition and not have to move. So. If I'm not in the truck, but we got numerous vehicles now. No, it's a white Ford Explorer that needs a transmission. We had a transmission for, so we're gonna put the transmission in the white Ford Explorer and get that up for sale. Then I'll be working on this. So, it's always fun. All the vehicles we have to sell to try to make some money on, end up with our own personal vehicles that don't really require all that much work. Just can't use them because they're broke down. But one thing at a time, we'll get out of this hole. Alright, everybody. We got the transmission dropped down to where we could pull out the torque converter. Got it draining here on the bench. So we'll try to look everything over here now and go from there. So, not completely apparent yet why We have no hydraulic pressure, but we'll figure it out. It's either going to be in this torque converter broke internally, or the the pump inside the transmission. One of the two is not doing their job. We checked it by watching the stick when we filled it up and running it, and the oil didn't go nowhere. So we know something is not doing its job. Something is free spinning. Sounded like it was free spinning, but that's what we're doing now. We're inspecting that since it's done draining. Got lots of stuff here to work on. So, alrighty, folks. Moving the sheep here this evening. Just got done working on the truck. This guy, his eye's doing a lot better. It's not draining tonight, so those pills are helping. Like I said, sheep getting moved here, and then tomorrow morning, mid-morning sometime, they'll get actually missed a couple of spots out and around, so we'll put poly up out here, throw them out into it, because then we're gonna start feeding. Trying to look through the camera and everything. There's, yeah, over by the bales I didn't cut, so from about there back towards the gate and everything's not I left for them to graze, and that's a little. They will be moving here shortly. I'm gonna have to figure out how to string up the poly wire so I can get alongside the road here. Kind of makes it hard because you can't do no step-ins on the gravel roadway. But I want it grazed due to the fact that I want it down. So when the snowing and the snow's built up, this road is actually built up fairly good. So if you don't got nothing to catch the snow, it won't fill in. And as you can see, well, here, good example right here. That's a pretty wide swath from where I didn't touch from the ditch in the road, so the sheep will have plenty of that if I go to the gate there and come this way with them. There should be, well, if I strung up the whole thing, I bet there's a day's worth of feed here along this road. So, and it's along the road, so it's better stuff yet. But I don't know, here you can see even better now that I'm standing on the road. That out there, as you can tell, isn't cut through the bales and everything, and then back to the yard. So that's what we're doing tonight, enjoying the evening, as it were, moving the sheep. So. Alrighty, everybody. Got the girls moved. Now we're gonna go check out on the rams. I'm liking this gravity-fed water system. I went and spent the money for these quick connects on the garden hose, so you don't have to undo it all the time. But I bought just the general farm store ones, and I swear they're almost as hard to use as just threading the thing on there or not. So I'm gonna have to look for some better ones, because quick connects in theory should be quick and simple, and these are not that away. So like I said, we separated off, I'm gonna say 98% of the ram lambs the other night, but it was dark, so I couldn't record nothing. We left 6, maybe 7 in here that were just small runts that were born towards the end of the season. So we're going to give them a few more weeks in here. Now we did that. I'll walk over here and show everybody. It's not too dark yet. How we did that was on the nettings, and the dogs, they got to work the sheep, and they did good. Sheep didn't blow through the nets for the most part. I had one ram lamb jump over through the netting and get in with the separated out ewes. I had to go in and catch my hand, but it went okay. for the first time, especially for the first time putting everybody through a system. You know, you don't need $10,000 or $15,000 handling system for sheep, especially for sheep. Don't really need that for well-trained cows, electric fence either, to be honest. But so what I did here, what we did, we brought in these cattle panels, which they're a little too high. This is my first system, and I'll explain some things I didn't quite like about it. But it would have been nice to have a few more cattle panels, so I could have put the whole bunch in this holding pen. But because I didn't, and it was this way, it was like 4 or 5 times we had to push them in and then just keep rotating through that way. Then obviously the pallet for a gate, just some bungee cords and that. The alleyway, a little too wide for sheep. But I mean, we stuffed them in here and had to add a couple extra posts because they were going to lean them over. So, but we stuffed them in here. You showing them the alleyway? Yep, walk that way. Yep, and that's what we did. We walked down the alleyway that way until we get to the end here. And I had this pallet, I had this one set up in between here for a gate, just like this one here is a gate. And what I do is, I knew that flag was somewhere. We had this pulled over here like this, so the ram lambs would push over here. That pallet was a gate that was tied to the post. We'd push them in here, and then I just, you know, if it was a couple of rams, we'd open up the gate, and then if it was just the ewes and stuff, we'd let them out this door, and we had the netting set up. It worked okay. Like I say, you know, could be better. Could have done better things. Like this here area could have been bigger for the ram lambs, just like that one over there could have been bigger for the bunch. But it worked. It did. You know, it was 1:30 by the time we was done getting everybody moved around, and we had to move the rams. We had to move the ram pen out back. So it was 1:30. I wanted to record and stuff for it, but it kind of became a job that needed done, and that was the time I had to do it, unfortunately. So yeah, anyway. So 98% of the rams, their ram lambs were sorted out. I got a date set for 10 rams to go into the processor. So we're going to see how that works out. They're going in the end of August. And I got a date for the pigs on the 9th of September. So, and then I'll probably do another date on rams and on cull ewes. December, January, somewhere in there probably. I know they're not going to be the highest fed and quality at that point in time, but if it's not a really, really cold December, if, you know, and we get them before that 50 below where they lose all that back fat that they do put on for winter, it should help out. And I'm wanting some of these cull ewes to get some more fat on them for burger anyway. But like I said, these I just thought of something hooked up. These 2 dogs cost more than this truck. Just throwing that out there. Huh. Yeah, and I don't use you hardly enough, do I? No. But they were tired that night. We separated them all out. They got to work and play and do really good. boop, boop. So, anyhow, got this field pretty well utilized, like I said. Got a couple of spots out there when we did a night move that I missed. I'll probably put up some poly to catch it on the way that direction again. Don't know. I'm gonna start actually feeding hay early this fall. Just like I said, so I can put on some more weight for these ewes. And I want the babies to get a little bit bigger. Once my system in the ground is growing good enough, you know, I won't have to do that, because you won't be able to really tell the night yet though. But as you can tell out there, now I'm not going to regraze it, but that's where I started moving them. So well house coulees right there, and we moved them that direction, and you can tell it greened up fairly nice. And that's with a non-working system. And once the system gets working, yeah, it'll be awesome. I've got a few more ideas on how to plant some seeds in the ground like this. I didn't do it this year, didn't have the money, but I did notice and observed, which is a big part of this regenerative stuff, is right behind the house where I let these girls really eat it down, where I was kind of holding them back. So therefore that's hitting that area pretty good. That grass did not really, it really slowed that brome up, which is a hard thing to do. So I'm thinking if I can do that again and really slow it up, and then plant into it with some good biology on it, maybe some Johnson Sioux stuff, the natural biology, and the seeds should get a fighting chance that way. So we'll see. But alright, everybody, well, it's getting dark and I still gotta go move the rams, so y'all have a good one.